Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos. Welcome back to the channel and to another episode of the IndyCar Podcast and the first race preview of the 2021 season. It's been a long wait, but we're here.
We're finally here.
The IndyCar season has arrived at the weekend.
At the week. Not quite yet.
Absolutely.
We still have to wait a few more days. But
Yeah.
it's basically there.
Exactly.
Touch it.
So obviously we've learned a lot about IndyCar since our first kind of race previews and reviews at the back end of last year. Obviously we know like last year was our first full season following IndyCar and we started the channel last year. So obviously this is our kind of new set. We're going to try and get like segments in watching, in kind of building up to the race. And well, I guess we'll cover any kind of news if it's relevant going into the race. But yeah, basically we're going to give like our segments here, but if there are any segments that you think you would like us to cover in a preview and for next week, obviously preview, because now IndyCar is back, it's kind of like bam, races. Like next week we'll be at St. Pete. After that, then the following week we got the Texas doubleheader.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the following week after that we've got the Indy GP, or there might be a slight week's break in between just to give us a breather. On that basis for us, because that'll be absolutely mental. But yeah, we're going to start off with some stats about it. So up on screen for you now, we're just going to show some stats for Barber. Now, Barber Motorsports Park is a fairly new race to the calendar, I suppose, with its first race in 2010. That was also its first live as a racetrack as well. John Surtees and Dan Gurney were involved in the building with motorcycles racing in mind for this, but IndyCar has adopted it and it has become a regular fixture on the IndyCar calendar, apart from last year, which obviously we knew was a heavily hit calendar due to COVID-19. But yeah, its first race was in 2010 and that was won by Helio Castro Neves for Team Penske, who are the most successful team at the track with 6 wins, meaning they've won 60% of the races at the circuit. Joseph Newgarden is the most successful driver at the circuit with 3 wins, with his first win coming with CFH Racing, which was also in fact his first ever career win. The last winner was Takuma Sato, breaking a 3-year dominance for Penske at the circuit.
Bam. Penske. Takuma Sato is basically the roundup of the stats.
Yes. Yeah, no, that is it. But with 60% of races won there, we're going to come on to it. We go, it's pretty hard to look past Team Penske this weekend.
Yeah, it is indeed.
They're just smashing it. But, okay, we don't have any races to go on. We just have testing. And obviously there's been a lot of private testing that have been there. But Stephen, give us a brief. Some of the teams have tested.
Give you a bit of an unofficial test results.
Yeah.
We look back. What happened way back in February? So, I guess isn't that far, but seems like forever ago.
It does, actually. But it doesn't actually seem that long ago.
But it wasn't a Penske that topped the timesheets at Barber. It was Rinus VeeKay.
Rocket Rinus! The quick Dutchman had a very good Rookie of the Year last year. Yeah, that's very impressive. That
Could he come out the blocks flying? The dark horse.
Well,
the pack.
I think what we're going to say is basically it's anyone's game.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's a winner, or a potential winner, I should say.
But who are the notable absentees from the Barber tests?
Yes, there's of course Arrow McLaren SP and Chip Ganassi, that's the one, and Andretti. All 3 of them didn't show up at Barber.
And basically at all the other tests, Andretti, Scott Dixon with Chip Ganassi, and Pato O'Ward with Aaron McLaren were basically the ones at the top.
Yeah, minor details. Rinus VeeKay is going to win the opening race. Stop ruining this movement.
Yeah, that's the hype. That's the hype in terms of that. But basically, like I was saying, it is hard to look past Team Penske winning this. And like we said so far, you can't pick a winner. But if you were going to put money on someone winning, it would probably be a safer bet to go for a Team Penske driver. Maybe Joseph Newgarden and getting another one, but also Pagenaud and Will Power have also won at the circuits as well. I think it would be a stretch too far to say Scott McLaughlin would win his not his first race, because his first race was at St. Pete.
Although he actually went quicker than Pagenaud testing.
Interesting indeed. But I think the most exciting thing about this first race is it is a wide open field. We don't know who's going to come out the blocks flying. Obviously, last season, Scott Dixon did with winning the first of 3 races of the season. But yeah, I can't pick a winner.
No. It's mental how many good drivers there are, potential and also race winners that could take the opening race. Someone's got to win there.
Exactly. And so that moves us on to what we're going to do next in our preview is we're going to predict the winner. Of course, we're going to predict the winner of the race. Who do you think is going to win the race?
Rinus VeeKay! Okay. Pato O'Ward!
I was going to say, I was like going, you're not picking Pato to get his first win of the season?
I got to back Pato.
Okay.
He's been so close on so many occasions, and Arrow and McLaren were very strong on road courses. I backed them to be strong at Barber. I backed Pato to take the checkered flag.
Now, my one is going to be Andretti Autosport haven't won at the circuit since Ryan Hunter-Reay won back-to-back races in 2013 and 2014, I believe. But I'm going to back Alexander Rossi. I just feel... I changed my mind, obviously, from... I think my early prediction was Will Power to win the championship. But something about Alexander Rossi, I've got a good feeling about him this year. I just feel this is the year that Rossi's going to get the championship monkey off his back and win it.
Yeah.
And he could even potentially win the 500 as well, as he's so good in there. But that's for another preview. This one, Rossi is starting off and he's going to win the first race of the season.
Bam.
But next question is, who's going to be your star performer of the weekend? Now, that could still be Pato O'Ward, because, that may be Pato winning his first ever IndyCar race. It's enough to be the star performer for you. Or it might be someone else that you think is maybe the spotlight won't be on them, but it will be a very good performance.
This is tricky. I may duplicate with something we'll come on to later, but I've got a good feeling about Scott McLaughlin.
Okay.
I think he's going to have maybe a top 5 finish and be very strong.
Okay, that would be a great start, especially. I think that would be a standout performance for Scott.
Yeah, even a top 10 would actually be very good for him.
And for me, there were a couple of guys noticed from our season preview of, when we had guys to look out for, and a name that I kind of forgot, and I was like, actually, you know what? That's a very good shout. And that is, with his beginning his first race for his full-time season with AJ Foyt, Sebastian Bourdais. I think Sebastian Bourdais, obviously last time out, he got P4 at St. Pete. We know St. Pete is one of his really strong tracks though. But I just have a good feeling about Sebastian Bourdais in the midfield this season.
Yeah.
I don't think, like we said, he's not going to be up there. He can't, over the course of the season, that would be such a huge gap from where AJ Foyt Racing have been for the last few races to go. Sebastian Bourdais to be a championship contender. But, there is every possibility that he can get off the mark and maybe even challenge for a podium in that first race.
Definitely.
But all eyes will probably be on the other Frenchman as well, which is Romain Grosjean.
Yeah. But just before we leave Sebastian Bourdais, he did look very quick in testing. I think he had the second quickest time, Barber. Just to support the point.
Supporting my point. Back me up, Stephen. Woo! Here we go. So, you mentioned him there, and this is one of the races. There will only obviously be a few, I think all the road and street courses, we will have all the rookies there. So while it's there, we'll use it as who we think will come out on top. So I'm going to assume that you're going to double up on that basis, but who is going to be the top rookie performer of this weekend?
Scott McLaughlin. for reasons I said, I think he may come out with a top 5, top 10.
Well, that was easy.
Should be very good.
Nice and smooth, nice and easy. Scott McLaughlin's going to go from there. Me, I'm going to go Roman Grosjean. I just think that he's going to hit the ground running. And I think he's got the better skill set to adapt to the series quicker. I feel very much Scott McLaughlin will get going, and by the end of the season will be clear Rookie of the Year for me. But I think out the blocks, Roman Grosjean may have... I think if he gets a top 10 performance for Dale Coyne, I think that's a good start.
That would be very good. Top 10 for Dale Coyne. Yeah.
Well, you know, they're more than capable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for Grosjean in his situation, that certainly would be, obviously, in partnership with Rick Ware Racing. Can't obviously knock out them as well. Dale Coyne in sponsorship or in partnership with Rick Ware Racing. I think that number 51 car will do well. And I'm going to back Roman Grosjean for a top 10 finish.
Ooh, there we go.
There you go. That's where he's going to go.
It's going to be a challenge, but
I think Jimmy will struggle in his first race. I think we'll both probably say that he'll be bottom.
But you got to give Jimmy time.
Yeah.
No doubt that Jimmy will be competitive this season, but he just needs races under his belt first.
It's a massive contrast in the cars that he's driven to date.
Yes.
So it will be learning, and you can do all the practice you want, you can do all the testing you want, but then racing with it is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I say Grosjean will have the edge for me, because I think he's used to competing in that single seater and how the car reacts in those situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is probably it for our points going into the weekend. So remember, you can comment down below with all your thoughts on that aspect. It's going to be a fantastic race. And this first preview is always a hard preview because you don't really have much to base it on other than testing and going, they could do well.
They could do well.
But that's pretty much like the entire field.
Yes.
Like, the entire field could do well, but who actually will do well, we're going to have to wait to see on Sunday. And obviously, qualifying will be on the Saturday. I believe the Indy Light starts there. Obviously, we had our interview with Miles Rowe that came out on Sunday. The USF 2000 will also be running at the weekend. So there's going to be plenty of racing action for single-seater fans in America to enjoy at the weekend. But for you guys to kind of enjoy and interact with us throughout the season, IndyCar do actually have a fantasy challenge as well. Now, from our F1 side, since F1 Fantasy, we have F1 Fantasy Weekly. We quite regularly follow that. We're not going to do a dedicated IndyCar segment of it, but we will cover, during the race weekends and in the previews. If there's something to note, we can definitely bring up the fantasy challenge. But we want you guys to get involved with our fantasy league. So on screen now, I'm going to get up the fantasy app and have a screen recording so I can kind of show you guys where to go with everything, and so you know exactly what to do. So I'm on the IndyCar official app there, but obviously I presume it will be the same on desktop. If you go on the you just type it in Google and type IndyCar. I'm sure on the official website they will have the same links through there. But you can go through there, and there's this fantasy challenge tab. You go from there. So if you go with a fantasy challenge, I'm signed in here, but obviously you would have to sign in, get your email address on that basis. So basically, in the fantasy challenge, every race you get a $100 million budget. I know it's or $100 budget. It looks like they've ranked. Can you imagine? You can get Jack Harvey for $21. How cheap is that? Incredible.
$21. I'll take that.
But I realise when I picked this. So what I've just said about Alexander Rossi winning has gone out the window because I put Will Power also to win, because I was like, I bottled it. I was like, if I was going safer bet, I wanted a bet on a Team Penske guy for winning it. So everything I've just said is contradicting myself. But basically, you get 4 drivers out of that $100. So I've got willpower. Like I said, Sebastian Bourdais, I think, is going to go well. Last race winner out was Takuma Sato. So I think he also will have a good start of the season there, although he has been looking like he's slightly off the pace in testing so far. But Takuma is very much a competition racer. And Jack Harvey, obviously, was one of the drivers that I highlighted as a guy to watch. So you pick those 4 and they score points over it. You can then get bonus points if you predict the podium right. So like I said, I predicted Will to win, Joseph Newgarden 2nd, and Alexander Rossi 3. So I have actually got Alexander Rossi on the podium, even though I just said...
But you still got willpower to win the race.
Yeah. Look, we're not going to go from that. I might change things up.
This is like 2 separate previews.
Woo! On that basis. And then the tiebreaker, for some reason, points tied, is the fastest race lap, and you have to guess how much it will be in miles per hour. I actually put 120 in there, but I believe Barber is around about the 107, 114 mark. So I'm going to put 113 miles per hour in there.
113!
But yeah, we have the league in here, and so we already... we already have some people going in. Stephen hasn't even entered the league yet. We have that basis that you can join in. Like I said, you have to give us an email address for us to invite you into our league. Now, obviously, most fantasy leagues have like a code that you just copy in and join in there. So data protection, giving us your email addresses, we realise that may not be a comfortable thing that you want to do. So you can obviously we have us on Twitter handles and on Instagram. You can find both kind of handles in the description down below if you don't follow us already, and you can drop us a follow there. But also you can DM us or DM me on there with your email address. So obviously you're not putting it publicly in the comments if you don't want to, and then I can add you into league, or if you're in the Discord, you can private message me on the Discord chat as well. And that means that, yeah, you can be added into the league, and it'll be quite fun to kind of see who comes out on top. And it keeps you intrigued throughout the season, because you're not like pick a team at the start and you're stuck with that. You have to pick a team for each race. So each race that you think is going to suit a certain team, a certain driver, or anything like that, or a certain type of drivers, you certainly can, play around with things. And it just adds a little bit more context to the race. You're suddenly cheering on, going, Jack, come on, let's get in the top 10. Don't let me down, Harvey.
I spent $21 on you.
But that is it for the Fantasy Challenge. And that is it for our first opening preview for Barber. Like I said, this first one, we'll refine the process over the course of the weekend. And obviously, they're going to get busy with our kind of preview reviews coming up in recent weeks. But if there are any things that you'd like us to do, maybe even bold predictions sections on it, we certainly can look at including those in future previews and reviews as well, if you have any bits for that. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed today. And if they're new around here, Stephen, or haven't done so already,
they can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding it! So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing!